Okay, we are live on YouTube.
Which is so crazy.
Okay, I'm gonna get. Okay, we are live on YouTube. Is that you or me?
That's you.
Which is so crazy. Okay, I'm gonna get. Okay, we are live on YouTube. Oh my god, we're on this. Okay, well, let's see here. I'm gonna share this. Y'all bear with us because this has been a trip tonight compared to normal. If you are watching this live with us, drop a 1 in the comments. And if you're catching the recording, drop a 2. And we are not going to keep you very long tonight because we had a lot of technical difficulties. So Facebook did not want to play with us. Okay, Amy, I think we are.
I'm not seeing us on Facebook.
I just posted the link and I just tagged you in it.
Oh, yay.
Are you seeing us?
I think I am seeing you.
Hey.
Seeing us. So let's get it in all the right places.
Hello, guys. Happy Tuesday. Trainwreck Tuesday is what I feel like.
Oh, my goodness.
So tell us where you're from.
So it's just going to show up as a link on our live page?
I think so. I'll edit the comments.
So they can't watch us live, can they?
Yeah, they can watch it. They'll click the link. It's live. It's live right now on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
We're live.
It's a little bit different, guys. Sorry for all the technical difficulties. But yeah, I guess we'll just go ahead and get started. Okay, you guys, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. So my name is Amy Spence, and I've been a part of this amazing company for the last 6 years, or almost 6 years. But I am from Alabama, but live in Missouri. And so we're here to talk to you guys about what this company's done for us and how much we love it, how much we love the products. And as you can tell, anybody can do this business. Honestly, we had major technical difficulties, but somehow we're figuring it out. So let's just go ahead and get started. So I'm just going to share, honestly, a little bit about my story. Ashley can share hers, and we'll just kind of go from there too and tell you why this time is such a great time to join our company. So let's fast forward almost 6.5 years ago, and a girl was reaching out to me. She reached out to me for about 6 or 7 months, y'all, and I just ignored her because I never had any experience in direct sales. I never tried the products. I had no idea what she even did. And I honestly believe now that I've been on the flip side of this for almost 6 years, I totally can resonate with people who feel the same way that I felt. And every day I come in contact with people who feel the exact same objections that I felt. And it's because when we are unsure of something, our first thing that we do is, it's our defense mechanism to be like, I don't think so. I could never do something like that. I don't know what you're talking about. It's a scam. I'm skeptical. You are involved in a pyramid scheme, whatever. So that's exactly what I felt. I was a school counselor. My husband at the time, he was a teacher. And he was a football coach. I was a head volleyball coach and assistant basketball coach. And we were living literally paycheck to paycheck. And it's crazy looking back because we both have 5 degrees between us. So it's just so crazy how 2 people with 5 degrees who did everything right, got married, we went to college, we got our master's degree. We just did everything right. We did have some debt when we got married, and that was because of my master's degree. And so that's really the only debt. So we didn't have bad debt, even though now looking back, I don't think any debt is good debt. I don't think there is good debt versus bad debt. I think it's all just bad debt. I think the best way to live is debt free. And that's honestly what our company teaches us. But I was just skeptical of everything. And the reason though that I kept watching Allie, the girl who reached out to me, was because when our daughter was born in 2012, She was born with a very rare genetic disease, and it's called PKU. And Steve and I had no idea that we were the carriers. I had never heard of PKU. He has older siblings with children. I have an older sister with kids. Nothing, like all of our nieces and nephews were born healthy as can be. So we had no idea that this even ran in our family. But sure enough, Caroline Grace was born with it. And it's so expensive, you guys. And we live in a state where we get no assistance, none. And so here we are, two contributing members of society, and we are doing everything right. And our medical bills, and Caroline has to drink a metabolic formula, and she has to drink metabolic foods. And so her medical bills alone were anywhere from $800 to $3,000 a month. It's crazy insane to think about that. And we made too much to get any kind of assistance. So something had to change, right? I mean, we had two choices really. We could either keep going down the path that we were going down and just realize that, like, okay, this is our, I mean, we did realize this was our normal, but we were like, there's no changing this. So we either are going to just find ourselves in this like cycle of debt, or we're going to do something about it, and one of us will get a second job outside the house. Well, if any of you guys are born, or any of you guys are married, or you know anything about education, you know, coaching and education is a full-time, I mean, coaching is crazy. It's a full-time job. And I was a head volleyball coach, Steve was football coach. So fall season was just insane for us. So really getting a job outside the house, like, was just really something that I did not want, he did not want. And we honestly, this kind of sounds crazy, but we didn't think that we should have to go do. I mean, we really didn't. We had jobs. We went to college. We have our master's degree. Steve had his specialist degree. So I kept watching Allie, and y'all, after 5 or 6 months of watching her and her following up with me, and her, you know, getting bonuses and me spending her bonuses on our debt, I finally reached out to her and I said, you know what? I want to give it a try. And I had all the reasons not to do this, you guys, all of the reasons. But instead of, and I looked for all the reasons why this should not work out for 5 or 6 months. But I did a flip that night, the night that I decided to join. I started looking for all the reasons it would work out and all the reasons it should work out. And I just made that switch in my mind, and I was scared. I was worried about what other people would think. I was just worried that I'd never done anything like this. But I jumped in and I did everything she told me to do. The one thing I love about it work, well, a couple of things I love about it works, but one of the many things that is probably on my top list is how supportive our company is, how supportive our team is, and how we help each other. So it wasn't something that I did where I joined and I felt alone at all. It was something where I joined and I had all the support in the world. Another couple things that I love about it is there's no commitment, there's no sales quotas, there's no contract. So in my mind, I was 95% sure. I mean, I'll even say 98% sure that I was going to fail horribly. But in the back of my mind, I was just like, okay, at least I tried it. And then if I tried it and failed, at least I could, you know, in my mind, I could say, I tried it and I failed. But, and then I would be out nothing because there's no contract. But I jumped in and I did what she told me to do, you guys. And honestly, the rest is history. So I do want to tell you, though, a little bit about the last 6 years in the business, because you know, in 18 months, I promoted to the top of the company. We had already paid off $87,000 worth of debt. This is all in 18 months, you guys. And I retired from my school counseling job. And I have been a stay-at-home work-at-home mom for the last 4.5 years. And our family became debt-free besides our mortgage, which we're slowly and, you know, gonna pay off quickly, you know, double mortgage payments and all that because of this company. But I will tell you that we did it because I took a chance on our family, and I did something totally completely out of my comfort zone. But what I really want to share with y'all is how I thought honestly that that was our curveball for the, like, life threw us a curveball, and I thought that was it. Having our firstborn, our daughter, being born with a rare genetic condition. I just knew that nothing else would ever happened to us because I'd already been through so much loss in my life and then this, and it was just so hard. So I just knew that, you know what, the rest, after finding it works, I, knew that this was going to be just the biggest blessing for us and our life was going to be smooth sailing from here on out. But I will tell you, life doesn't work that way. And the minute that you think, there's so many people out there that don't think that they need a plan B. They don't think that life is going to throw them anything. And I will be here when life does throw you that curveball, and you can come back and tell me, oh, you were right. Because I don't know anyone where they've had this smooth sailing life and nothing's ever happened where they needed something. But within 5 months of being a part of It Works, we started trying for our second child. Steve was just like, okay, if we have another child with PKU, which we had a 25% chance of all of our biological children having PKU, then at least I know that we're getting a hold of our debt, we're paying it off, and you're doing amazing with It Works. We can do this. So let's rewind, and we started trying for a kid. And I will tell you guys, within a month of trying, I just knew something was wrong. And to make a long story short, we were diagnosed with infertility and secondary infertility, unexplained. And my body basically just shut down. My body went through menopause at the age of 28, which is so crazy. I never saw it coming. And so because of It Works, we were able to go to 5 different fertility specialists in 3 different states. We were able to put a ton of money into that. And anyone who's watching who has been through infertility knows how expensive that is, and how, not just how expensive it is financially, but it's also expensive emotionally and physically and everything. And I was working full time, being a part of It Works and going through all of that. And so to know that I was able to try every single fertility treatment out there with my body, so I never have to wonder what if. And then the best thing is I got time with Caroline, you guys. I was able to stay at home for 2 years with her before kindergarten, and that is time and memories that I will never, ever, ever get back. And the thing is that I never thought that I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. And I'm sure Ashley will tell you the same thing, but it's because I never thought that would be an option for me. I never thought that it would be able to happen, but it did. And I'm so thankful for this company. But the best piece of the puzzle, and it took almost 4.5 years to figure out the journey that we were on with infertility and what's next for our family and the chapter. And it took a lot of tears and praying and a lot of expensive money. I mean, it's expensive. Anything with infertility is expensive. But, I'm sitting here looking at my Christmas cards because I'm mailing them out. And on the back of my Christmas card, I was able to put this picture, and it's Caroline in a Big Sister shirt because we are adopting. And it's because of this company. It's given us options. It's expanding our family. We're about to have our first home visit, which is so exciting to know what the future holds for our family and to see everything come full circle. But I will tell you guys, looking back, 6 years ago, I'm not sure that this would have been our story if we didn't choose, if I didn't take a step outside of my comfort zone and do something that I never thought that I would do. I don't think our story would be this story. And so that's honestly the reason I am so thankful for this company. And I am going to let Ashley tell you a little bit about her story. And then we're going to just wrap it up and tell you why right now is such a good time to join. So Ash, and a cool story about Ashley and how we got connected, but she'll tell you. So
hey guys. Okay, so I'm Ashley Renow, and what is so cool, so you guys just heard Amy's story, but I heard about this business actually in 2011 whenever my son Cade was born. So he is about to turn 9. So almost 9 years ago, I heard about this business, and I watched it through social media, through Facebook. I didn't have an Instagram then. And I thought, what a joke, or, oh, those poor people, they got like conned into one of those things. And, I was just the typical like skeptical person. I was a cardiac nurse, and I just didn't believe in it. And so here, fast forward a couple of years, watching like Amy said, spending Allie's bonuses. I was spending the bonuses that I was seeing people make through social media because I knew a couple of people doing it, and just thinking, gosh, what if we are drowning so bad in credit card debt and in student loan debt was like literally like a ball and chain that I felt like was around my ankle and was pulling me underwater and I couldn't catch my breath. And so fast forward, we moved from Florida to Missouri to move back home after we had Cade, and I became a night shift labor and delivery nurse. So I met Amy in the delivery room. She was one of my patients. I got to deliver Sweet Caroline with Dr. Jones. And I am the person that did the heel prick test on Caroline, which ultimately ended up diagnosing her with PKU. So Amy and I, neither one were a part of It Works at this point. So fast forward then a little bit longer to February 2nd, 2014, actually probably February 1st, 2014, I made a post on Facebook and said, if I was to sell It Works, who would buy from me? It was like the most generic, silly post, but I was so skeptical and so scared. So at this point, I have a newborn and a 2-year-old. We're drowning in debt. And Amy sends me a message and she said, do you sell It Works? And I was like, well, I'm going to tomorrow. And she's like, shut up. So am I. So we meet in a delivery room. 3 years later, we both sign up for It Works on the exact same day. And then the rest is history. We're here almost 6 years later together doing this business together. So to say like God is so awesome and to see how like that got all interwoven together and, it all started in the labor and delivery room. So what happened though before I signed up? We had Sophia in November of 2013. And at that point, night shift labor and delivery, I'm working 60 hours a week and I am missing all of the moments and we are still drowning. My husband worked for corporate State Farm and we couldn't pay to heat our house. Like we could not put propane in our tank to heat our house and it was the dead of winter. And so for the first time at 30 years old and my husband was like 35, we had to ask for help. And that was a gut check. When we both had college degrees, we were both working insane hours. And so we started to look at our finances. And I don't know about you guys, but most people that have debt honestly don't have a dollar amount of like how much they actually owe, because it's just something that I think we as a society have normalized debt and normalized credit cards and student loans, and that it's okay. Like, whenever you go and graduate from college, everybody's like, congratulations. They don't say like, oh, that really sucks. You have $50,000 in debt now, or anything like that. So we've just made it so normal. But when I finally pulled up my student loans and looked at just one of my 3, it said if I kept making my minimum payments, they'd be paid off in 2030. So that newborn baby that I was feeding in the recliner at that time, she would have been a senior in high school and my 2-year-old would have been a sophomore in college. And that's when I finally decided after 3 years of watching that enough is enough. Like if nothing changes, nothing changes. I couldn't physically work any more hours as a nurse without it becoming extremely dangerous. And so, gosh, what took me 3 years? What took me 3 years? Amy talked about some of the things. I'd never sold anything before. I couldn't even sell Girl Scout cookies. I had never worked retail. I had been a server, but it was like people order off a menu and it was just what I did. And so I just didn't have any experience. So I talked myself out of it in that way. I talked myself out of it in the way that, I'd heard about these companies where you have closets full of inventory. And so I didn't want that. I didn't have the extra money to spend. We couldn't heat our house. I was scared of sales quotas. I was scared of contracts. I was scared to have parties. I didn't have time to have parties. I was working 60 hours a week. And so I just kept adding all these things, all these reasons for 3 years. But you guys, what my biggest limitation is I was scared of what other people were going to think of me. I was scared of being that girl on social media selling something. But you know what is so crazy about that to me, looking back now, is I didn't care that nobody else cared that I was that girl missing every T-ball game. I was that girl missing 5 out of 7 nights at home tucking my babies in, that I wasn't eating dinner with my family, that I wasn't kissing my husband or my babies goodbye in the morning because they were already at daycare and work by the time I made it home in the morning. Nobody cared that I was missing Christmas. every other year, Thanksgiving every other year, Mother's Day every other year. Nobody cared about that. So why did I care so much what people were going to think if I was going to do something to try to better my family? So I got over myself in 2014 and finally said, like Amy, what do I have to lose? Like, I could potentially gain an extra $300 to $500 a month that would maybe make me the mom in the bleachers by the time Cade's like in middle school, or I can say I tried. I can stop thinking about it after 36 months. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And so, you guys, I jumped in and I quickly realized once I got vulnerable with my own story and got real with the amount of debt that we had, that I was not alone. And so often we think we isolate ourselves to think like, nobody else is going through what I'm going through. Nobody else is in the same boat as me. Nobody else would understand all the problems that I have. Nobody else, I would be so embarrassed if anybody else knew the amount of debt I have. You know, all these things that we can stir up in our mind to isolate ourselves, and then you're stuck. And so I finally decided I'm just going to get vulnerable about this, and I'm going to tell people really in my heart why I'm doing this business. And so I wanted to try the products anyways. I got started. And you guys, I made that over $500 in my first 30 days, you guys. So here, this debt that is just like suffocating us, I continued working 60 hours a week, night shift, through that was February. And then all the way through that next year, we paid off over $80,000 in debt in our first 11 months in the business. We wiped out student loans, we wiped out credit cards, we paid off my minivan, and I continued working. And so I ended up leaving my career as a nurse, something I never thought I would do because I never thought it was going to be possible. But I walked away from my career as a nurse in November of 2015 on my daughter's second birthday. So she just turned 6. So I've been home for over 4 years now. But you guys, it's because I finally put those fears aside and said, what do I have to lose? And so, you know, when we talk about no commitment, no sales quotas, no contract, no requirements as far as like having parties or, you know, having to be at conferences, like these are all options that you have, but they're not requirements. And so this business has absolutely blown every expectation I could have ever had. And today, you know, I got to see just again a reminder of why this business is so incredible. The moments that I was missing on Monday morning, I went to the gym and then I went straight to my daughter's school and I read to her class at 11:20 in the morning. I got to walk into her class and read them a Christmas story and then go home. Today, my son was supposed to have a field trip and it ended up getting canceled due to a bus situation. So you know what I did? I checked him out of school. We drove an hour to Destin and we went bowling and we went to lunch. Tomorrow is my daughter's Christmas. I get to be at all of these moments because I said business. And so the money is incredible, the products are incredible, but it is the freedom of time and it is the ability to have choices where I didn't have them before. So you guys, it's $99. I mean, think about walking into Target or walking into the grocery store or Walmart, how easily, hold on. Okay, sorry, how easily you can get started in this business and see the same success we're seeing. Right now, this time in the business is insanity because we are going into a time that people start resolutions. And so resolutions typically are either health and wellness type resolutions or they are financial resolutions. And so think about some of the New Year's resolutions you make, the ones you hear people make at work, your family members make. This is a point where you can be a problem solver for people. We have stuff to help people lose weight. We have stuff to help people with their mind, their skin, their finances. And this could be the time that you could be a problem solver for them. And we will help guide you along the way. Amy, you got anything to add to that?
No, I want to just reiterate how, you know, this time of year is just so crazy. And Ashley, we're coming up on our 6th year of this time of year. And it's just so crazy the amount of, I mean, I've seen people averaging, going into January who are averaging $500 a month, and then by May they're making like $7,000 to $10,000 a month, and it's just so insane. And our products, I mean, they, unless you probably have, everyone who's been following us, unless you've been hiding under a rock, you probably are not missing all the results from our new beauty care line, our new products with the botch doctor, Dr. Paul Nassif. And so I just want you to know that it literally is just a no-brainer. Just get that couple seconds of courage and go message the person who asked you to watch this. Go message, that person who hasn't given up on you, and just tell them that you're ready to try something different. I know that there's people out there that did not think that I would still be here 6 years later, earning 10 figures a month, doing this, but it's true, you guys. It's awesome. And I will tell you, money is not bad. Money does a lot of wonderful things. And for us, we've been able to give back. We've started a scholarship. We've been able to do incredible things with all that we've been blessed with. But I will tell you one thing, each month not having to financially worry about stuff, especially my daughter's medical bills. You guys, I was going to sleep every night crying, wondering how my daughter was going to get the stuff that she needed at 10 years old, at 15 years old, because all I saw was a continuous cycle of us getting in debt. So like Ashley said, and like I said, the money's fabulous. The friendships are even better. But I will tell you, the freedom of time and just sitting there watching Ashley and her daughter, Sophia. I mean, Sophia was a baby when Ashley joined this company. Caroline was 2 years old. This is all they ever know. And in fact, it's so funny because I'm doing a project with my brother-in-law, and Caroline heard me on a conference call. And when I got off the phone, she was like, wait a minute. I thought It Works was your job. And I said, It Works is my job. And she was like, okay, good. She goes, because I don't want you to quit. And I said, why don't you want me to quit? And she goes, because I don't want you to ever not work from home. And the fact that she's 7 years old and she gets that I can be at everything, it does mean something to them. And so I know a lot of you guys watching this tonight, you're like, oh, I'm not like her. I'm not as outgoing as her. I'm not as smart as her. I don't have a master's degree. I'm not a nurse. It doesn't matter. We've seen all different types of people be successful in this business. People who haven't graduated college, people who, were drug addicts, people who, all sorts of backgrounds and all sorts of different ages. It does not matter how old you are, what you look like, or where you're from, what experience you have, nothing. All that matters is that you have a why. And when your why is something that, keeps you up at night, like my why kept me up at night. How was I going to provide for my daughter? You heard Ashley's story. They had to borrow money to, heat their house in the wintertime. Those are the things, those are the struggles that I truly believe, knowing what this industry can do. No one in this world should have those struggles. No one. It's just some people, the majority of people, don't want to step outside of their comfort zone. They don't want to take a chance on themselves and their family. And we are here to tell you, it's okay. Do it. You won't regret it. So that's all I have to say. I just want to tell you guys Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And, once again, Steve and I get to pack up our family and we get to leave and go to Alabama for Christmas on Friday and not have to worry about anything, you guys. And that is, Ashley and her family are about to be in Missouri for 10 days. Like, who gets to just pack up their car and just go for 10 days without having to call your boss or take vacation days or sick days? So it's truly a blessing because we get to work from anywhere. And I love road trips secretly because it's 9 hours of me being in the passenger seat, and I get to just follow up with people and talk to people about our products in this time of year. So I'm excited about our road trip. But Ashley, do you have anything else you want to add?
I don't. You guys, just be bold. Take courage. I mean, my cup even says have courage. Like, just take a bold leap. 2020. Amy and I were just talking about how cool it is. Our anniversary, our 6-year anniversary this year is 02/02/2020. Like, if that doesn't say
that gives me the chills.
something
Great's happening for us this year.
That's right. But we hope you guys have a Merry Christmas. Do you want to tell them have a Merry Christmas?
Have a Merry Christmas.
All All right, you guys, get back with the person that invited you to this and just jump in, you guys. Stop being so scared. Live a little, have some courage, and you never know. You never know how much your life could look so different a year from now.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, sweetie pie.